Right, you lot. Firstly, thank you for everyone that listens and has stuck around for our first 2 seasons. Before we get to our thoughts on Expendables number 4, we wanted to let you know that our break is drawing to a close and we are back on the main feed on the 2nd of October with a brand new season with a brand new theme. This time we are covering 8 Alien movies and our first episode covers the action horror sci-fi classic Predator. Now, during our breaks we do continue to post reviews of brand new movies over on our Patreon page. So if you miss hearing us between seasons, head over there for our reviews of over 20 movies so far released in 2023. We promise to deliver a bare minimum of 2 reviews of brand new movies every single month. So you'll get access to our archive of reviews and also our end of season wrap shows, all for the price of only £3 per month with no minimum commitment. If you can't sign up to our Patreon but you do enjoy the show and would like to help out, we would really appreciate your ratings and reviews. If you get a spare minute, we would be forever grateful if you could rate and review us on your podcast player of choice. It really does help us to reach a wider audience. You could also help out by following and interacting with us on social media on Instagram, X and Threads at @STH_pod. Come and shoot the shit with us there. Usually these new reviews would be released exclusively on our Patreon, but as a bonus for all of our lovely listeners, we thought we would publish our thoughts on Expend4bles on our main feed. Now enjoy, thanks for sticking around, and we'll see you on the 2nd of October for our brand new season.
Yesterday, we went to see the Expend4bles.
No.
No?
No.
We didn't?
I don't remember seeing that.
You don't?
No.
What did you watch?
I watched Expend2bles.
Did you?
Yeah. Was it worth it for that joke?
No.
Okay. We did a later showing Saturday. We'd had a couple of drinks.
Not enough.
Which sadly did not help.
No.
Yeah. Oh, shit. The office is falling apart. That's all right. We'll power through. We're good.
1 on the Richter scale.
Yeah, Expend4bles. So we saw it yesterday.
Yeah, we're going to spoiler the heck out of it.
I think we have to.
Yeah.
It's getting a lot of flack.
As it should.
Rightly so. It was fucking terrible. It was, and I was prepared, and I'd let you know that people were like, oh, this is not very good, this movie.
Well, when you first told me it was being made and you were like, oh, Eco UACE is going to be in it. I'm like, cool, what could go wrong? And then yesterday you were like, just to prep you, everything I've read says it's garbage. And I'm so glad you told me that.
Yeah, but it's the thing, like, I thought, okay, the Expendables movies, it's not the best franchise. The first one, I think, is fine.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's all right. 2 is a lot of fun, and I really enjoy it. Simon West movie.
Yeah.
3 is garbage.
I haven't seen 3.
But I think this might be the worst one.
This might be the worst film ever made.
It might be. It's probably the worst one I think I've seen this year at the cinema, certainly.
I mean, at least The Room felt less like a cash grab.
The Brie Larson one.
No, that's Room. We've had this conversation so many fucking times.
Yeah. So, it's an Expendables movie.
Mm-hmm. It's an expendable movie.
Yeah. What are we going to say about this?
It had a reported budget of 100 million, and I would love to know where that went. I'm guessing just in the back pocket of Stallone.
Yeah, and Statham, I would guess.
Statham has somehow been in 3 of the year's worst films, 3 of my least favourite films of the year, and he is the common denominator in all of them.
Yeah.
He either needs to sack his agent or just retire.
Well, I think he's probably just making money, isn't he? But yeah, he could not help this movie. It was
nothing could.
Bad. You mentioned a budget, 100 million.
Where? It was not on screen.
I know, it was awful. The green screen, not good. The effects, not good. The dialogue was not good. The final kind of act on the boat, I thought...
The final act on the boat, which was the second hour of the movie, there were only really 2 set pieces in this entire thing.
Yeah. But I thought when they got I'd seen the boat in the trailer,
Yeah.
and some of the CGI looked ropey, and I wasn't convinced by the trailer. But the setting on a boat, I thought, well, it's kind of different. You don't see that very often. I'm thinking about the opening
I've seen
sequence.
Jason Statham on a boat twice this year. What do you mean you don't see it that often?
I'm thinking about what other boat was
The
he
Meg 2.
on? Oh, right, okay. I thought you meant you saw him 2 other times on a boat.
No.
2 including this one.
Not in real life.
Yeah.
I don't go on that many boats.
No, as I was saying, I thought it could be something. You set it on a boat, you could do enclosed spaces, you could do it pretty cheap, and make it look good. You've got all these action stars in it, really like you mentioned, Iko Uwais and Tony Jaa.
Yeah, who were both so fucking wasted in this.
And you're like, okay, maybe the movie's not going to be great, but at least we're going to get some good action sequences.
No.
You couldn't see anything.
No.
Quick cut in, choppy camera was all over the place.
Filming people from the neck down, making it super obvious they weren't doing their own stunts. I'm looking at you, Megan Fox. I mean, mostly it was filming her from the neck down anyway, just because nipples.
Yeah. Yeah, not good.
So I want to go back to how it looks. Like you said, you can make a film on a shoestring budget and make it look good. But what they chose to do here is make a astronomically expensive movie and made it look terrible.
Mm.
And I want to know why. The entire thing looked like it was filmed on a soundstage. I mean, a lot of the green screen was like glaringly obvious. And I don't know. There has to be some reasoning for it. There has to be. Because we know how good things can look these days. Mm. And it was just such a disappointment at every turn. It felt like they were trying to go for humour.
None of the humour landed, did it?
None of it. I mean, it did for the couple that was sat in front of us who cackled on occasion.
They loved it. There was a golden shower joke and she lost her mind.
She did.
I thought she was going to start clapping. And I thought, I'm glad you're having a good time. But the fact that they were cracking up made me laugh. And I was laughing at them laughing. So I kind of enjoyed it.
I mean, look, I was laughing at the movie, but never in the ways that they intended.
There was a lot of dialogue that was just like someone would, like Garcia or Stallone or whoever, would deliver a piece of dialogue. And then we would just look at each other and go, what?
Yeah. It wasn't just bad. It didn't make sense.
Is that the end of the sentence then?
Yeah.
This is the bit when we laugh because like everyone's paused and I think we're meant to laugh now. Oh, old mate's laughing over there. Yes, we're meant to be laughing. Yeah, there was a scene where they were locked up in the boat thing, the Expendables, and they were trying to get out and they were trying to sort of lift this panel and they said, oh, if we get this panel wet, we'll be able to get out.
But they didn't give us any reasoning as to why that would be effective.
No. And then Randy Couture,
I haven't got a clue. Don't know who he is.
He urinated on the panel. Then there was a golden shower joke and the panel fell down. And I was just like, have I missed something?
They did a science, Dan.
What? How does pissing on a metal panel make it loose? Or
it doesn't.
Acid piss?
It doesn't. It was made by idiots for idiots.
I don't get it.
The movie, not the boat. The boat might also have been made by idiots. Who knows?
Yeah, there was no boat. It was just a soundstage.
Yeah.
I think my favourite part of the movie was totally unintentionally funny. And we said that we're going to spoil it. So this is your final warning. We are going to spoil this. And it's probably the most important thing that happens in the movie.
The only important thing that happens in the movie.
Right, you've been warned. So the first action sequence, or like the first act, they go off and they do their mission and they're chasing Iko Uwais because he's the bad guy. And Sly gets shot by Iko Uwais and he's in a plane and the plane crashes. It's on fire. And there's about what felt like about 15 minutes of Jason Statham running in slow motion towards the aeroplane. Like, no! It felt like a parody.
It did.
And when he got to the plane, there was like this corpse, like this charred corpse with the little expendable...
But yeah, his beret was intact.
His beret was melted to his skull. It was the funniest thing I think I've ever seen. And obviously Statham's like, no, Barney! He's called Barney, by the way. And the one I'm thinking of is the dinosaur guy. And it's like, okay, so you expect me to believe that Sylvester Stallone is dead now, do you? Okay, well, let's wait for the final act and see if that's true, shall we?
Eftoons, he's alive.
Yeah.
Who saw that comment?
Of course he's alive. I fake my own death to get the bad guy. I know the bad guy is Andy Garcia.
It's
And I
always
knew
Andy
that.
Garcia, obviously.
Yeah.
And there was a ton of that reveal that didn't make sense as well. That was just...
It was felt like just a weird scene after weird scene after weird scene. There was a weird fight / lovemaking scene between.
Oh God, that was. I have, like I said last night, I've never been drier.
Yeah,
that was the least sexy thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
it was bad. Jason Statham, Megan Fox are a couple, and our introduction to Megan Fox's character was pretty weird as well, because Barney Ross is knocking on the door for Statham and they're having a row because she's shouting at him and just being a general drag, you know.
She was awful.
Yeah, but she's a super spy.
Mm-hmm.
But she's also a girl. So.
But she insists on having overlined lips and a smoky eye for every occasion.
Yeah.
Like that would be your priority.
I think the problem here is that put more women in action films.
Yeah, of course.
100%. But let's make it good, shall we?
But cast women who actually are skilled.
Yeah, but make the characters good as well. Because
Yeah.
like I said, that introduction was horrible.
Oh, she was absolutely just window dressing the
Yeah.
entire time.
Yeah.
You know, like exemplified by her final scene where she walks in and her nipples are more erect than anything I've ever seen in my life.
That's insane.
And
yeah.
it was clear they just made poor Megan Fox go and stand under the air conditioning for like 10 minutes before her scene.
Yeah.
It was so awful. It's made for 13-year-olds.
It's, yes. I wonder about this movie because I think a little while ago they were developing, would you believe, an all-female Expendables.
Oh, I heard about that.
You know what it was called?
Oh, God. I don't want to know. Do I?
Expendables.
Oh, fuck off. Oh, no. No.
I'm not even joking.
No.
That sounds made up. But it was they were working on it for a while, I believe. And I the only reason I mention it is, well, number one, it's funny, and number two, I think maybe some of that has crossed over into this, and that's because Megan Fox becomes the leader of the Expendables,
Sort of
temporarily, because Sly is just joking about being dead.
Which is a really cruel trick to play on people who care about you.
And Statham was just like, "Oh, thank God you're alive, Barney." I'll go, "You cunt!
Yeah.
You think you were dead? I went to your funeral.
We mourned you, you prick."
Yeah, I was sending your parents money.
His parents are long dead,
Yeah.
Dan.
Oh, that's the other thing in this movie as well. There's a bit in it where they're all pissed off because they think Sly is dead, and they're like, "Oh, you sent the man to his grave way too early."
No, they didn't.
Bloke's 78 years old, and he's
That would have
running
been
around.
good innings, for especially a man who took that many risks.
I know, right? Luckiest man on earth, and he's still not dead. Oh, the very first time we see Sly, of course, he's got a fucking stogie.
Oh,
On
God.
a motorbike and chewing a fucking cigar. Because you have to, don't you? If you're a proper man, you have to
have a phallic object in your mouth, apparently.
You're not a real dude.
That make sense.
Unless you enjoy a cigar.
Unless you pollute your body.
Yeah.
Such a strange notion.
Oh, yeah. What else can we say? So there was another really odd scene where...
Just the one.
Yeah. Statham's boss is dead.
Mm-hmm.
So he has to go and find a new job. And he's sitting...
Oh, God.
Sitting by himself. He's sitting looking at newspaper going, ugh, pantry chef. Ugh. It's like looking at jobs. And he circles this one. Oh, private security for an influencer. And it cuts to him being a private security for an influencer. And it's the most obnoxious type of influencer. And okay, fine. 10 years too late.
Like Jake Paul exists. Yeah, absolutely. The parody felt done to death.
Yeah, it's done to... it's probably worth mentioning that it's 9 years since the last Expendables movie. So that's probably been there for ages.
Yeah.
But that's no excuse because you've had 9 years to do a rewrite on this piece of shit script.
I think what happened was they just fed the original script into an AI.
I think an AI would do a better job.
Well, do you know, you've spoken to ChatGPT, you've fucked
times.
around and had those conversations. And you know how ChatGPT just very confidently comes out with stuff as fact that you know is wrong.
Yeah.
It felt like that in a script.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can possibly describe it. There's zero characterization. Nothing makes sense. Like you say, everything feels a decade too late.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of seemed like Tony Jaa was having a good time.
I think so, but even some of his delivery was very weird. And I'm not blaming the guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of it was to do with the edit, because like he would deliver some lines to Statham and the camera would just hang on them.
Yeah.
And they would look at each other, and then I would look at you and you'd look at me and we'd go, what?
There was a really glaring moment when that happened with 50 Cent. And they just left the camera on him for too many beats. And it was like, I feel really uncomfortable right now. What's happening? This is so awkward.
It was a very strange experience. There was, I think I counted 5 or 6 times where 2 people like got in frame together and then looked at each other and nodded and then like threw a knife or something. By the way, Dolph Lundgren's trying to get over alcoholism, but he gets over it by becoming an alcoholic again.
Yeah.
And he's really happy about it. It's weird. If you're a suffering alcoholic, right, my first bit of advice to you would be, do not carry around a hip flask full of booze with you at all times. Maybe remove the temptation.
Yeah. Maybe the substance abuse was the real message all along.
Yeah. Weird social media stuff. Weird stuff between Statham and Tony Jaa, who arrive on this boat via a smaller boat.
A tiny boat.
And okay, I want to talk about that for a second,
Go
if we
on.
can. So basically, the Expendables.
Don't you dare.
They
You're making me hate cinema as a whole right now.
Once Stallone is quote unquote dead,
Mm-hmm.
they are working directly for Andy Garcia, who turns out to be the bad guy. He takes the Expendables to a boat which has nuclear weapons and nuclear weapons detonators on.
Mm-hmm.
So Andy Garcia's plan, right? I think I've got this right. Correct me if I'm wrong, but his plan was to blow up the boat. Or crash it into.
It's still unclear.
I think it was either to blow up the boat or crash it into the coast of a country and then blow it up.
Well, the intention was to sort of ignite a war between the US and Russia, maybe?
Yeah, he wanted to ignite World War III.
Yeah.
In any scenario, his plan was to destroy that boat.
Yeah.
So, why is he delivering the Expendables on the boat? That's my first question. Already had the nukes.
Yeah.
Already had the detonators.
Mm-hmm.
So he's flown his enemies. They don't know they're enemies, but he's flown people that could potentially mess with his plan onto the boat,
mm-hmm.
and then gone, oh, I'm the bad guy. Don't come after me.
I genuinely at this point don't know if it's a fault of the script or if it's my fault for zoning out so frequently.
I would blame the script. Also on this boat, this boat that he's going to blow up and destroy.
Mm-hmm.
What should we do with it? How should we fill up the boat? Why don't we fill it with motorcycles with machine guns on? We'll put an aeroplane on it as well. Bear in mind that he's doing this because he wants more money, but he's just probably blown up $1 billion on that boat.
Yeah, he's spoffed loads of money stocking it with unnecessary shit.
Just sell the boat.
Yeah.
He's got
He'll be
money.
a made man.
Oh, it's awful. I can't believe how bad this movie was, and I feel like I can't.
There's no accurate way to emphasize just how poor this film is.
Yeah.
But the one thing that comforts me is that the cinema was empty.
Yeah,
I don't feel good saying that. I want films as a whole to always succeed. I am grateful that we have that as a medium to enjoy. However, the one thing I am comforted by is that this has to be the nail in the coffin for the franchise. It has to be.
It has to be. I can't see that this is going to make 100 million. I mean, it's obviously got to make way more than that to be profitable, but it can't do. I just don't understand. Our cinema was empty, and that might not be a reflection of all cinemas across the world.
True.
So it might do better in other places than it does in others. But I can't see it, particularly with all of the negative press. The one thing I think that might save this movie is that everyone's saying it's so bad.
Yeah, people are going to want to see it for themselves.
I would be kind of curious.
Yeah.
Is it that bad? Okay, let's have a few beers. We might enjoy ourselves. And do you know what? It might be a sort of The Room situation where you just kind of enjoy it because it's so fucking bad.
Jason Statham turns up on a motorcycle with guns mounted on it.
Yeah, should we talk about
to the
that?
Prince Charles.
He shoots, he plays chicken with another motorcycle person. And he shoots a plane that's on a boat for no reason. And the plane goes lopsided and he drives his motorcycle up the wing, spins around in midair, fires his machine gun that's mounted to the motorcycle to his villain guy.
Yep.
Kills villain guy, lands perfectly on his wheels.
Evil Knievel couldn't have pulled that off.
That's insane.
This movie really just went fuck physics, y'all.
I know. And then they get to so Jason Statham and Iko Uwais, they have a fight that lasts about a minute, maybe.
Yeah, it was so like I was kind of sat there the whole time going, oh, we're gonna get to a big like face off though. It's gonna be worth it. It'd be worthwhile having sat through all this garbage. No. In what world does Jason Statham own Iko Uwais? It doesn't happen.
It doesn't. And you do have to obviously, you have to let go of a lot of things in these silly action movies.
Oh, I'm not looking for realism. That's fine.
I'm perfectly happy to do that. But you got to make it entertaining. You've got to, like in an action movie, the action needs to be good.
It just wasn't fun.
And everyone involved, not everyone involved, a lot of people involved are highly skilled martial arts people.
Yeah, definitely not everyone.
And like experienced action people as well. Like we should be doing better than this.
But the action was crap.
It was awful. The only reason to watch this is to laugh at how bad it is.
Yeah.
There was another point where Tony Jaa and Jason Statham pulled up on the boat, again, going back to this, and then they do their fight and they win and yeah, we've won, but the bombs are going to go off. What are we going to do? And I've forgotten what they actually do. But
they just got back on the little boat.
Yeah. Well, they do that, yeah, because they're going, what are we going to do now? How are we going to get off? And Tony Jaa goes, I've got an idea. And you think, what's he going to do? And he goes, let's go back to the boat that we came here on. And I'm thinking, that's your
fucking genius.
That should be in the original plan.
Yeah. The plan didn't go that far then?
Yeah. And then he's like, I just remembered my boat's towing behind this boat. And they zip line down onto the boat and Megan Fox is onto the boat. And then Jason Statham does his hero bit and he's like, I'm going to save this planet or whatever. And then Barney Ross turns up with the helicopter and saves Statham. Why didn't Barney Ross turn up earlier? As in, like, while they were all on the boat fighting?
He was 80. He was having a nap.
Oh, yeah, you think so?
Yeah, siesta.
Yeah. This was rough.
It was easily the worst film I've seen this year.
I think
easily.
I think I agree, and I'm I love action movies. I'm so willing to forgive a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I really enjoy Expendables 2. Is it the best movie in the world? No. Is it the best action movie in the world?
No.
Certainly
also
not.
No.
But it's fun.
Yeah. And that's all it has to be. Like a bit of decent action, and it has to be enjoyable. This was neither. But
I think that's the only Expendables movie that I put on. I own, and I'll just put it on a Friday night and enjoy it. It's stupid, but it's fun. And some of the action is all right. Pretty good.
Yeah. I feel dumber for having watched this.
Awful. Awful. But you know what? I'd recommend it.
To who? People you hate?
Just go out, have a few drinks, have a lot of drinks, expect the worst movie you've seen all year, and just have fun with it.
I would say have a lot of drinks and then black out and miss the entire thing.
Yeah.
That's my advice. 0.5 star, and that's only because I can't give it 0 stars.
I think I'm at 0.5 star as well, realistically.
Yeah.
I'm really, do you know, I got about 20 minutes in and I thought, this is terrible, but do you know what? I'm going to try and find a way for me to enjoy this and be the one person that went, do you know what? I kind of liked it.
No.
But I couldn't do it.
No.
There was nothing. There's nothing redeeming about this whatsoever.
No.
And they had the audacity at the very end, the last song, the credits. The boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. Are we doing that still, are we? In 2023?
Mm-mm.
God, I thought I'd rather be watching Wild Hogs.
It makes me quite angry when I think about if they'd given 10 independent filmmakers 10 million each, the films we could have had.
Yeah, that you're right. You're exactly right. That is the most disappointing thing, that £100 million could have, well, firstly, could have fed a lot of people with that 100 million quid.
But no, they chose to do this.
They made this. And what a fucking colossal waste of time for everybody involved. apart from the people that got paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Avoid.
yeah, 10 movies for 10 million quid each. Yeah, why aren't we doing that? Even 10 action movies for 10 million quid each.
Yeah.
Like, I forget what The Raid was made for, but what was that, like 5 million or something?
Something like that.
I can't
yeah.
remember now, but we covered it. Go back and listen to the show. But yeah, it can be done. We know that it can be done. You just need to, I guess, care enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it does feel like they just shut this out as quickly as possible. And I bet people like Eco, he must be disappointed. Like when he watches it and just, and listen, he got paid and I hope he got paid well and I don't begrudge him for it. You do it, you get the work.
Yeah. I hope he gets more work off the back of it.
100%. Super nice guy, sounds like, and I want him to carry on working. And if it means being in shit movies, fair enough. You're getting paid. I don't begrudge you for that. But it must be disheartening. If that was me and I watched that and I've been training for years and I knew I was shit hot and I was in the Raid and the Raid 2 and the night comes for us and he's done some of the most spectacular action sequences of all time and you get to this.
Yeah, where Jason Statham like kicks your ass in 60 seconds.
Yeah, or we think so because we couldn't really see
yeah.
what was going on.
It was so choppy.
Rough.
Yeah, I will never ever watch this again under any circumstances.
I might watch it again.
No, I forbid it under this roof.
Shall I text Albert and go, oh my God, I've just seen Expendables 4. You need to go. It's the best one in the series.
Yeah, that's what we'll leave you with then. Recommend it to people who you want to prank.
Recommend it to Albert.